Hi kids, it's Rowan again, and hi! Yeah, I know it's been a couple days since I did the Ungoth Confessions, and now I'm going to do the Über Goth Confessions as a nod to Dorian at OfHerbsAndAltars, and I apologize to them. Again, I used the wrong pronouns in the previous video, but when you get something in one good take like I did that last time, you really don't want to scrap it and, you know, to correct yourself. So I hope, again, I apologize, and I know you're probably barely paying attention to me, but I mean, you do reply to my comments when I make them, usually. I make a few interesting comments, I think, sometimes, anyway. Oh, Nigel wandered off. Thought Nigel was going to at least put his butt in the video today. Real quick, I am wearing that velveteen jacket that I got from the one of my thrift stores a couple weeks ago, and my spiderweb bandana, and I've had this a few years, and the nose chain, I make these on my shop. These are made to order. They're about $20, and I will put a link down below. I was working at the Historical Society Museum. I put in a video in sepia tone a few weeks ago, just going around turning off all of the lights that we've got in there at the end of the day. It takes me about 6 minutes to do that all on my own, apparently. They were redecorating today, so I didn't do all the lights myself today, or at least not taking them all down. We had this family with a boy in 2nd grade and then 2 younger boys. They're twins in kindergarten, and I got to explain the chamber pot. I explained the chamber pot to the 2nd grade boy, and he just got this look of like, there was life before indoor plumbing. There was life before the indoor flush toilet. Why? Why? It was entertaining. It was entertaining. The Über Goth Confessions. So, just to make up for my bizarre hate for, what's it called, the New Rocks and Demonia boots. So, first off, and I made it to 13 on this list. So, item number 1 on the list is, I'm very nocturnal. I tend to go to bed around 4 a.m. and wake up around noon. Sometimes as early as 10, depending on what I have to do. Like, on Tuesdays for my show on WFKU, I tend to wake up around 10, and I still go to sleep around 4. Especially if I went out to Factory at Nectarine Ballroom, or I guess it's the Necto now. If I go out on a Monday night to do station promo with the stickers and the flyers, and I'm pretty much only going out on special events lately just because it's the same thing every week. Thankfully, we've got a DJ who will play more than the same 5 songs every week, but don't get me started on Daniel. Just don't. Just don't. I'm a generally far more wide-awake person after about 6 in the afternoon. Like, even today, I'm feeling generally well. I still got a lot of mucus built up from being sick earlier in the week. And, you know, but again, I punch out from the museum, and I'm suddenly wide awake, tripping over the stories about chamber pots, and, you know, the stenciling on the wall that, you know, was preserved at the house that the museum it was made from. Tripping over myself, which is a great thing about kids, because, you know, they're asking all these questions, so you're constantly on your toes trying to think of things, rather than, you know, if it's a college-aged couple and they want me to, like, guide through everything, I can't do it. I can barely do it some weeks. But when it's kids, it's great. They do half the job for me. So like after 6 in the afternoon, even though I've been up and had my coffee and am plodding along, hopefully I've had something for breakfast, I'm still like after 6 in the afternoon, I'm totally wide awake, and I'm going until about 4 a.m., sometimes 5, and I'm usually up around noon. If you've got the old Gother Than Thou card game, I think that's like, what, minus 2 Goth points when you're up before noon. Item 2, speaking of 2 points, I have 1 on the chair behind me. There's Murnau. 1, and then Nigel wandered off, and Phoebe is somewhere in here, but she's been in a bit of a mood lately, and, I mean, she's acting healthy otherwise, it's just, she can't stand the sight of Murnau this last couple days. I think he's been being very annoying, so, she's somewhere. Once it gets to be about dinner time, she'll come out. I've got 3 black cats, which brings me to, item 3. When I was 5 years old, I checked out this book from the library. It was featured on Reading Rainbow, I think, and it was made for children, and, you know, aged about, like, for 8 or 9-year-old children, but I'm reading at 5, and it was about ancient Egyptians, and there was a bit of a chapter in mummies, and I'm coming home from the library, which was just up around the corner from my house, and this was the 80s, so, you know, kids could run wild and free in the inner city. And, you know, I see this squirrel, that was this roadkill squirrel, and I see a piece of scrap wire, and my mum turned the corner to go up to the 7-Eleven to buy a pack of cigarettes. No, a carton of cigarettes. What am I talking about? This is the 80s. So she turned around and buy a carton of cigarettes or something, and, you know, she sees me, like, trying to squiddle up the wire up through the squirrel's nose, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And the first thing out of my mouth was, "It was dead when I found it, I can see that! I'm trying to make a mummy." Why are you so weird? I don't know. So, yes, I tried mummification. Well, almost tried to make a mummy when I was about 5 years old. So, item number 4, I am practicing pagan, and that seems to be a goth stereotype. And I had a brief 2 or 3 years as a Satanist, as defined by Anton LaVey. I even have a fucking t-shirt, and somewhere in all of the things is, I've still got the card, I've still got the little red card before they doubled the price for that, and I don't know where it is. I was supposed to send it back. I talked to HP Nadramia. I don't know if she's still involved with that, and, you know, I was just like, "Hey, this really isn't my bag anymore," and she's just like, "Oh yeah, just send back your card." And I meant to, and then I lost it, and then I found it when I moved sometime, but oh well. Item 5, one of my favorite genre of film, is silent horror. One of my longtime relationships, our first date was a silent screening at the Michigan Theater in downtown Ann Arbor for the Phantom of the Opera. I go to see Nosferatu and Phantom of the Opera, Caligari, you know, whenever they have those at the around Halloween with the silent horror at the Michigan Theater. I have a pretty sizable collection of silent horror and German Expressionist film in my DVD library. Okay, so item number 6 in my Über Goth confessions is ooh, I broke a nail. As some of you might have noticed, I have a lot of antiques. From antique furniture, and one of the reasons I've been interested in the peacock fanback style wicker chair there is you may recognize a very similar style. Excuse me. in the Addams Family living room, there were many pictures, promotional stills taken with Carolyn Jones as Morticia. There we go. The floor lamp there is antique. I've been making some progress fixing up my Empire Victorian couch, and I've got a lot of antique appliances, including antique clothing. So, loads and loads of antiques. Excuse me, I recently picked up a desk, and it's not quite as old as I was hoping for. Actually, it was a lady's dressing vanity, but you know, the mirror's long broken off, so, but it's got the little candle holder things, and when I'm done fixing it up as I like for my new desk. So, number 7 is I've got 3 Roz Williams tattoos. I'm not wearing I'm not wearing unders right now, so I've got the so there's a few, at least 2 other people who I met at the memorial service 100,000 years ago now, who have the Jetem tattooed. If you've got, it's really, really prominent. You can see that in his final album that he released when he was alive, was the premature ejaculation, wound of exit. You see that very prominently in a couple of the Polaroids that he took for that. And you see it in a couple other pictures in the Art of Roz Williams book, so I got that, you know, I want to say about a year and some before the memorial service, and I've got the 1334 across my left knuckles. I'd initially done that with a quill, and then a couple of years ago I went to Name Brand Tattoo in downtown Ann Arbor, and I'll give a link to them down below. And I had oh shit, it was Nick who fixed that up for me, and Jeff, actually it was Jeff's apprentice who did this, and this has some spots on it that didn't heal right. It was Jeff's old apprentice back around 99 who did that, and Jeff did this beautiful, I'm going to describe, because I don't want to disrobe for you, so it's, no, I don't have any good pictures. If I find out a way, if I can figure out a way to slip in a slide-style photo on this, I will, when I go to edit. Sort of nicknamed it Roz of Finland, because when Jeff worked from my original sketch, which was very, very bad, and I think I found that not too long ago. I hope I didn't throw it away. It's awful, but it's the original sketch I did. So when Jeff went and worked from that and did it in his own style, it ends up looking very Tom of Finland, and Roz of Finland. He would probably be very honored to be rendered in such a way, but, you know, I went with it. I was 18, and I went with it. Thinking back, I probably would have had Jeff, you know, maybe make him not so muscular at the very least, but, you know, I was so excited. It was... You know, it was my own preliminary sketch, and it looked good. It still looks good. It just... it looks like a Tom of Finland drawing interpretation of Roz Williams, so... So, number 8, going back to when I was 5 years old, I once tried to run away from home to live with the Munsters. But I got distracted and ended up at the library, and then forgot about running away and came back home. Number 9 is I like many teenage goths in the mid-1990s, I wrote a lot of really bad vampire fiction. Unfortunately, I've saved none of it. There was a lot of reasons why I couldn't save any of it, but I sort of wish I was able to save some of it. I'm sure I'd be horrified to go back and read it, but it would be at least a little entertaining to maybe read some of it to you all. Number 10. I am an artist while my primary income is disability. I do make music. Gone and actually checked out at least checked out on Bandcamp. I know, not everybody can buy it, but, and it's probably not everybody's, cuppa, but, I play the harmonium and the viola, and I sing. Also, the paintings behind me, I've done all of those, and a lot more, and, there's this large canvas. It was one of those things that I got this large canvas, and I knew what I wanted to do when I got it, and then I brought it home, and I forgot what I wanted to do, and I've kind of been tuning it around, and I get ideas sometimes, but I don't have all the colors I need, and the colors I need money for them, and when I finally have money for them, something else has taken the money that I needed, and so, and then I get a new idea for the canvas, but I kind of know what I'm going to do with it now. I got a Secret Santa from Reddit Gifts, who just sent me a whole lot of watercolors. Really nice watercolors. Not so great watercolor paper, but it would be nice, just for some little practice-y type stuff. And I have written 2 novels as well. And a lot of people, think that, goths are artists and, or at least all goths aspire to be, artists and make a living off of it. And I doubt I'll ever make a, decent enough living off of mine. But hopefully it would be a nice secondary income. That would be great, especially with my music. Please buy my music. I love you. Number 11 is, I've got so much velvet. I've got so much velvet clothes. There's the velveteen jacket here. It's more, I don't know, I guess it's more like a new suede and used suede. I've got a couple pairs of purple corduroy jeans. They're corduroy, not velvet. People assume they're velvet because they're not used to corduroy much these days, but when I see purple jeans at the thrift shops, I have to get them, even if it's corduroy. I don't usually like corduroy, but it's by purple jeans. I love my purple jeans. Murnau's napping on, I've got those purple, velvet, pajama pants. I got those, and I folded them up, and he's decided to nap on them. Oh, kitty dreaming. I've got another pair of velvet pajama pants. I've got the velvet leggings. I've even got a velvet suit. It's a lady's suit. But I'm 4'11", and those are the clothes that fit. I'm 4'11", and those are the clothes that fit, and I'm too fabulous to give a shit, right? So I've got a velvet suit. Oh God, I just favorited this velvet jacket on Etsy, and that's probably where next month's fun money is gonna go, unless somebody snipes it out from under me. I'm pretty sure I had one a lot like this in high school. And if I didn't personally have it, I had to leave so much behind. There's a long, heartbreaking story about how bad it was for me in high school, at home. So, I had to leave a lot of things behind. And I can't remember if I personally had one just like this, or if I severely lusted over it at the mall for forever until, the last one was sniped out from under me somehow. But I found one just like either one that I had or one that I severely lusted over in high school. And it's on Etsy, and that's probably where next month's fun money is going to go. But I don't care, because it's gorgeous. And I've got the cape, and I've just got so much velvet. And I wasn't much of a velvet fan when I was a teenager and in my young 20s. I was definitely more in the death rock look, the very punk based look with the big Death Hawk. And as I've been getting older, I've just been getting more and more velvet clothes. I just love it. I love the feel, I love the texture, not just how it feels, not just the texture that it feels. Oh, and there's my cambriole beret. I love that cambriole beret. Not just the texture that it feels on my skin, but just how it looks, the textured look to velvet. Even you know, your basic, you know, like plush velvet, not the crushed pan velvet, but like just a nice plush velvet. It's such a beautiful, you know, supple texture. There's just even this, oh god, I hate synthetic fibers, but this is a velvety little makeup bag. And my other makeup bag was too little. I couldn't put things in it. Alright, so, wait, I did that twice. Oh dear, I did number 12 twice. Or, I did what I did for number 12 twice, so I'll think of another one real quick. Okay, so, the new number 12 is, most of the YouTubes I watch are other goths. I've been, like, all of the smaller ones, I've been automatically, like, subscribing and hit the bell, and, you know, even if they haven't hooked me right away, just because I want to, like, give more views to the smaller goth YouTubers. So, let's see. Off the top of my head, number 13, what am I going to say here? Oh shit! All of my exes and the young man I'm currently cohabitating with have all been goths. I don't think I've dated a single non-goth. Let's see, there was... I'm gonna use initials because... I don't want people coming back at me about drama. Especially because, you know, being trans, obviously, you know, some things are not as they were, and I don't know how some people are going to react if I come around back to them and somebody figures it out, because my face is terribly different. But, let's see, so there was G in high school. He was a goth. He was a bit more into heavy metal, but, you know, he did, like, you know, I did get him into a little bit of Sisters of Mercy. Of course, who doesn't like Sisters of Mercy and Fields of the Nephilim? But yeah, he was more into on the goth, you know, spectrum, or goth adjacent. Then there was E, and I'm actually still kind of talking to him. We reconnected a few years ago on Facebook, and then, you know, he's doing all right. That I got him into silent films even, and he was, oh god, he was the first one I dated who was even in goth bands with, like, you know, like Pioneers. I'm like Fabulous adjacent too. Then there was, well, Scott doesn't give a shit, so Scott, I talk about Scott all the time. Were we a thing? I don't know, we might have been a thing. Depending on how you count, D, yeah, there was D, and then, like, overlapped with Scott, briefly, and then I moved to Los Angeles, and there was B, and then there was D, but, or the other D, and the bad D. The bad D was more of a fuck buddy, but he's fucking nuts. And he's still fucking nuts, and doing his fucking nuts thing, and he can just go fucking nuts himself, right? Like, he has not changed, and it's been 15, 16 years, right? So let's see, then there was the bad D fuck buddy, then there was B, and I really loved B. We kind of friended each other on Facebook, but we don't talk too much, really. So then there was B, and then there was Scott again. And then single, and I had fuck buddy about a year and a half ago. He was a bit more into the punk. He was a bit more one of those, like, you know, he was a high school goth who, that was C, and he was a high school goth who graduated into, you know, punk in his early 20s, so, still, you know, goth enough. I haven't dated a non-goth. Even the young man I'm cohabitating with, he's, you know, he's just like, well, I was a bit more of a goth in high school. Now I'm just creepy and fabulous. I'm like, yeah, you're a goth. You listen, you know, your favorite artists are, you know, Amanda Palmer, Klaus Nomi, Lena Lovitch, Nina Hagen, Cruise Shadows, Gene X Performance. I've gotten into a lot of those too, even. It's because I'm so fucking old. But no, yeah, basically, like, every guy I've ever dated was goth. The all of 2 girls I've ever been into have been goth. Though, let's see, the one girl I had sex with is kind of an experiment, just to see if I was into it. You know, I mean, she wasn't horrible. She wasn't terribly unattractive, so, you know, she wasn't at all unattractive, really. Had a very cute face. It's like, yeah, see what's up. You know, it's not a bad idea. Yeah, you know, like they've all been goths. Yeah, I mean, there's been a few guys I've just like taken home who are probably just more like metalheads or punks, but I don't think. Yeah, I've never fucked a normal person either. But yeah, I've never dated a non-goth. How about that? I was thinking about it. And yeah, I don't think it's ever happened. Yeah, I don't know. Did I have a little, like, no, I didn't even have a little elementary school pseudo-boyfriend. Not really. So that's today's video. I really needed to do this. I recently, just last night, I won and I paid for an eBay auction for 2 preserved specimens. One is a Luna moth that's preserved, and the other is a mourning cloak, M-O-U-R-N, mourning cloak, butterfly, preserved, and they're in a, you know, cheapy sort of starter box for your butterflies and moth specimens. And a good friend of mine recently died, and I've been very self-conscious about sounding like a name drop. And she died recently from cancer. I don't know, you might have heard of her, but winning that auction, it reminded me that the last thing that we said to each other was maybe just before Thanksgiving. No, just after Thanksgiving. It was in the Thanksgiving area on the Facebook Messenger, and I was a little bit busy, and, you know, I don't remember, I can't even bring myself to look up how I responded, but I remember the last thing she said was, you know, we really need to talk. She said that we needed to talk more often, and I got busy, and now we can't talk. Well, what do I mean too much? Well, we can't talk at all anymore, can we? No. And I miss her a lot, and I felt bad, because, you know, it's barely been, you know, like 5 weeks since last we talked, and I don't know how I got so busy. I really don't. I don't know how I got so busy. So, when I saw the butterfly, and I'd been looking for a preserved Luna moth to do a shadow box piece with, as you know, like devotional art for the goddess Nyx. I mean, I've got the Luna moth tattoo. I'll do a tattoo video. So I've got a Luna moth tattoo, and there's some spiritual significance for a Luna moth for me. And then when I saw the mourning cloak, and, you know, it was labeled as a mourning cloak rather than as the scientific name, and I saw that, and it there's something about the wings. It really reminded me of a photograph of my friend, and something about the wings. Just like when I saw that, it really reminded me of my friend who died, and so I'm going to be working on a piece in another shadow box, you know, in remembrance of her, and speaking of loved ones who've passed, I would like to thank my friend Haley, over Facebook, who, it's a little premature because I wanted to, you know, I'll do another little thing when it comes, but she was very helpful. One of my cats died last year, and so I've got a new thing for his cremains. So bit of a sense of loss coming over me this last couple days. But yeah, I can make something good out of this. I can make something good and nice out of this. I mean, well, not nice. I mean, well, as nice as you can. I mean, I guess the best way to, honor those who, you've lost and, loved and miss is, to go on in a way that, would make them happy, like do the things that, that they know would, make you happy and that you would be happy doing with them. Even if, you're only doing them now, with their memories with you, with your memories of them with you, because, I do miss her. I do miss her. We did briefly hang out a little bit when I was a bit of a traveler, but it was very, very brief, and I don't even think she remembers from me years ago. But we did connect over Facebook and Instagram, and I miss her, and we talked a bit, a lot about antiques and Art Deco, and she was there talking to me quite a lot when I was recovering from surgery last year. Oh God, last year now, huh? And but yeah, I miss her, and she talked to me a lot. A lot of my friends locally, they just kind of bailed. I had a lot of friends who said that, they'd, oh, of course, I'll come over and, help you out and just hang out, and, all of 2 people showed up, and, all of 2 people local showed up out of, damn near a dozen who said they would, and you all knew who you are. But no, my friend, she was there, and she was talking to me a lot, like, not daily, because she was going through her own illness as well, but, I put together a care package for her with some, dark chocolate, and, she was vegan, and I got some vegan jerky just because I was like, well, you're going through chemo, so, why, yeah, protein, that's what you needed. And here, it's got teriyaki, right? And a couple of scarves for the chemo, and, this old dress that's always been way too long for me, but she's fairly tall, so I sent that, and a couple of beautiful scarves that I found at a thrift store, and I think one was just one of mine that I never wore, so I just threw that in the box, and a carnelian stone, yeah, I miss her a lot. I miss her a lot, and I feel so bad that, we didn't talk more like she said we should. I'm sorry, I started on such a high bubbly note, and now I'm feeling. All right, well, time to go piece this together, and you take care of yourselves, kids, and just cherish the times you do have with your friends, and be there for your friends, especially when they say you should be there for, you should be there together, so, just be there for each other. Take care. Bats and kisses.